Well, check, check, check. Wait for a few people to get up in here, you guys. I am constantly switching my time up, but to me, that's a good thing to do sometimes. We'll wait for some people to get up in here and we'll go live. What's up? What's up? What's happening? Good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world. How you guys doing today? And we're going to talk about this R&B thing. Is R&B a non-factor to music now? And does it still have the same effect? That's the question. Make sure you guys let me know where you're from, where you're logging in from. We'll let the room get, some more people coming here before we get started. Hope you guys having a great day today. We talking about R&B today. Well, Meech and I do well. R&B, funk, soul, jazz. That's what we're talking about today, y'all. We're talking about the culture of Black music. We're talking about what has taken the world by storm and what people have taken and made it their own. We're talking about something within our community that we seem to throw away, that African Americans seem to. And I'm not going to say we throw R&B away, but we have a tendency to throw a lot of music away. Can you guys hear me good? Check, check. You guys hear me okay? We're going to talk about that. Let's share this live. Let's get some more people up in here. I was going to bring Meech in, but for some reason, when I go live on the laptop, it doesn't. I haven't seen that option. It doesn't give me the option to bring. So I'm gonna have to get Meech sitting right in here when we talk about these certain subjects. So he right here, so we can talk like we need to talk. Right. Hope you guys having a great day. Let me see where y'all calling from. I mean, where y'all calling from? I've been on the phone this morning, so my mind's all over the place. Where are you guys logging in from? State your state, where you coming in from. And I just want to show you some love. You feel what I'm saying? Let me see. Hold on. Give me a second, you guys. Just go ahead and tell me where you're from while we're doing this. And then I'm going to give some shots out before we get started because many of you guys, I know you love your R&B. So we're going to go into talking about the state of R&B, man, where it's at. Is it still a non-factor? And do people still feel the same about it? You know what I mean? Because it seems as if sometimes our community is not embracing it like it should, but there's a new movement with R&B. The younger generation are embracing it, and I'm seeing some of these young artists embrace it, and they're really doing some fly stuff with it. And so I had to get on here and talk about it to give these young folks their respect. There's a few young guys that I really love. Okay, let me get some shots out. Okay, Charlotte, North Carolina. These shades got me kind of, they're dark. Is that Sacred? Sacral Threads. I hope I'm saying it right. Charlotte, North Carolina. California in the house. Your love. Yes, listen. And we're going to talk about that too. Your love, we're about to talk about it. Let's see. Shaz May, is that right? Hashtag Justice for Angie Stone. Thank you for that. That's beautiful. We got to keep that going too. Let's see. Joe Fire, what's up, Joe? UK is in the house. Shaz May is from the UK. Thank you, UK, for tuning in. I forgot you guys are right on time right now. You right in it. It's early morning, right? Or is it? I don't know. Is it evening? I think it's evening because I do a lot of interviews from the UK. Dolores said, "I love R&B." Yes, we do, Dolores. We do. Helen says, "You're taking a nap, Helen. Wake up, Helen. Wake up, Helen. Helen Baylor. Wake up. Wake up. I'm sorry to bother you right now, Helen." CC. I don't see my moderator in here yet. Let me see. Trina, what's up, Trina? Atlanta, Georgia in the house. Headed to North Carolina for my uncle's funeral. I'm sorry this weekend. Um, we're gonna send a prayer out for you. Love and light to the memory of your uncle. And yeah, I know how it is. I last 2 years I lost a lot of family members. So love and light to you, to the memory of your uncle. We're sending that love out to you, Meech and I, and everyone on here. Sonia, Albany, New York in the house. Sonia commenter. That is a supporter. Dolores, Columbus, Ohio. What's up, Luscious? Luscious, much love, Luscious. Thank you for stopping in. Ms. Nessa, hello, beautiful one. It never rains in never rains in Southern California. Yeah. Helen Saylor says, I'm an R&B. I'm up. R&B is sleeping. We about to go in on that too. Trina, thank you. Yes. Helen, thank you. I appreciate that. You guys share the live. I know I'm early. I know I don't always go on at this time. I don't want to necessarily be predictable. I kind of just want to go on when I want to bring you something. So we're gonna always do this. So share the live, you guys. If people grab it, they grab it. Some might catch it later. A lot of people hit me saying, "Oh, I didn't get the notification for your live," and I'm sorry that you didn't get the notification, but I'm sorry. So, is R&B a non-factor to music now? Does it still have the same effect is the question of the day. Now, me, I'm an R&B guy, you guys. I'm an R&B guy. I'm an R&B artist, funk, R&B, soul. And I've seen R&B go through its changes. I've seen rap come in and take over the charts for years and years in a row, consistently, to the point to where like R&B kind of went underground. R&B went underground to where it's like, people were still listening to it, but it wasn't on radio as much. You had your main stay on radio like Babyface or Boys to Men. They would play a lot of the old school, and then you hear some of the newer artists, sprinkles here and there. But as far as like predominantly R&B really running the charts like it used to, um, the last 5 or 6 years, it was rough for R&B. But no, now R&B is back with a vengeance. Um, there's not enough people really supporting R&B because there's a lot of great young R&B artists out here right now that are kicking butt. I mean, I'm not just going to talk about Meech and I. There's a lot of great young R&B artists that are really impressive to me. And the thing that impresses me about R&B music is I come from a time when I remember when Ready for the World's album first came out. I think it was like the summer of maybe 84, summer of 84, or maybe 85, maybe summer of 85. If I'm correct. I'm just trying to remember. I'm just remembering because I used to sit in the car and think about my little friends, my little girlfriend in high school, and Oh Sheila was on that album, and that was like the album of the summer. It was Ready for the World. I'm trying to think who else was out there. Was 85. The Troop album drop at that time? I'd have to ask Alan. I'd have to look it up. I think Troop were out at that same time, but I just know for sure Ready for the World. I don't think Troop was out at that exact time, but Ready for the World was man. Ready for the World was doing their thing, man, and R&B was at its highest. And you had Ready for the World. You had God, what's that group from New York? I mean, you had the Foursome D's. You had Ready for the World. You had New Edition. You had goodness, who was that? Johnny Gill wasn't solo at that time. I mean, he had done some songs with Stacey Lattisaw, but he didn't really he wasn't he hadn't made a mark like that at that time, right? As a solo artist. So you had Ready for the World, New Edition. Who else did I say? Ready for World, New Edition. Uh um I just said their name. Tender Love guys. Damn it. I'm getting young. I just literally went blank. Hold on. Force MDs. Okay. So that was the soundtrack to the black community at the time. Now, of course, we still had our old school. You still had the Isley Brothers. We still had that. But I'm talking about at that time, that was considered like the modern day new artist at that time, right? For that time period when I was in high school. And man, I'll tell you, that was like the greatest time period in music. And I can't describe, if you didn't live it, if you weren't there, and some of my OGs on here, y'all know what I'm talking about. You guys lived it. You went through it like I did. It was the greatest period in R&B music ever. I'm just gonna say ever. It to me because music felt good. The lyrics felt good. They were talking about things that you if you couldn't explain to your girlfriend, you would say. I remember my older brothers used to tell their girlfriends. I hear them on the phone talking, and they'd be like, yeah, go put that Ready for the World on and listen to track number 7. That's how I feel. That's what that's what a lot of people in the black community, the men used to do. Y'all remember that? That was the thing. That was the thing back then. Like if the dude couldn't tell a female how he felt, it was like, let me give you this song, and that's how I feel, right? So I think about that experience with R&B. Like I think about that moment and what motivated me as an artist, what motivated me as a person when I listened to R&B, and what made me want to continue to be a great writer, composer, producer, arranger was listening to all the greatest R&B artists at that time. There was something magical about that, man. There was something magical about that. Like these days with some of the R&B, the last 10 years, they weren't really talking about nothing. Now it's getting back to the younger generation studying the OGs. And now, you got some young artists that are really getting into it. Like there's a couple artists that I really, really, I love these young cats, right? There's an artist named Paradise, right? He's got a song called Fogging Up the Windows. Young dude, man. But what I like about this song is it took me back to like how the R&B that Meech and I do, the R&B that Alan McNeil and I do, the R&B that really made R&B what it was. These young dudes is coming. I mean, my hat's off to them. They're really, really. It's almost like somebody sat down and talked to them and said, "Listen, this is the blueprint. This is the blueprint. This is what I want you to do. That's how we're gonna come. We're gonna write this. I just need you to get in that booth and sing it the way I wrote it. Trust me on this." Had to be some OGs behind this 100% because the lyrical content and what they're talking about is more structured to where you feel like you listening to some real R&B. So this young dude, his name is Paradise, man. And when I tell you I love the record, I play it over and over. It actually sounds like a record that I did years ago. The melody and the arrangement, as far as the music, a friend of mine and I, Tommy and I, did this song called "Love Me Some You," and it reminds me of that record. I never released it, but when I heard it, I was like, "Ooh, this young dude is hitting it. He's killing it." He's really, really knocking down the doors in the ears of R&B music, right? So there's another young man. His name is Jaden. He has a song called "Lullaby," right? This made me say R&B is starting to get back at the best of what it was. Sometimes, a lot of our sisters, they love putting on their R&B songs and just having their slow cuts, but now there's a new movement like that. That's the way it was back in the day. We in the 80s, we listened to nothing but the slow cuts. There's a new movement with the young generation, and they're like that. They're listening to the slow cuts, got a lot of reverb in the vocals. That reminded me of back in the day in the 80s when we grew up. But now it's getting back to the lyrical content portion of music. And this is why it's important to me because I felt like R&B had kind of drifted when they started mixing the hip hop and R&B, and I was like, man, they're not really talking about nothing anymore, and that kind of bothered me, right? I was like, man, what's going on? And you still had some of your mainstay artists in R&B that were still doing it, but the younger ones that were coming in, they started just talking about nothing, and it kind of lost my attention. I was just kind of like, well, I'm not really feeling R&B right now. Even though I do R&B, I'm like, I got to make an example from what I do. And Alan and I always talked about that. Alan from Troop is making sure we were an example. And Meech and I talk about that, being an example for R&B artists by showing them this is how you write. This is what you talk about. This is the storyline. Like, let's create a storyline for a story. Let's tell a story that captivates people's mind into seeing the story. Let's write a song that takes you to a place spiritually that you otherwise would have never went, but because of the lyric and the melody, it took you to that place. That's really what it's all about. That's real hardcore R&B. Notice I said hardcore R&B. Like you got a hardcore rock, you got a hardcore jazz, you got acid jazz, you got hardcore hip hop, right? And to me, hardcore R&B is that R&B that's based on the essence of that, just that element of great lyrical content, great melody, and does it move you? And is there a storyline there? That's my concept of hardcore R&B. Like you probably think hardcore and R&B would be a person cussing or saying derogatory stuff. No, but to me, hardcore R&B is getting back to the basics of what R&B was, and me being able to have you just press play, and that song does what it needs to do. That's what I tell people about my music. I said, listen, just press play. Like I'm not trying to impress you with the music, but I just know my stories are going to put you in a place where you can relate to what I'm saying, right? So press play. That's all you got to do. Just press play, sit back and drive the car, clean up the house. Is going to do what it needs to do. That's what R&B was about. R&B was about being able to, sit with your girl, and there's a song that that you could put on, and it related to the both of you at that moment, and you didn't have to worry about the necessarily derogatory. Now, don't get me wrong. There's some songs I grew up on in the 70s, and then later on as I grew up, I realized they were talking about some other shit. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. I didn't know my mom was playing that song. But they did it in such a classy way. So now they just saying, let's get right to it, right? In songs, they'll say, let's let's bang it out, right? But when we were younger, they would write songs, and you wouldn't like a prime example. When you listen to Rick James, Mary Jane, when we were kids, we thought he was talking about it. We thought Rick was talking about a girl, right? And you grow up and you find out he was talking about the ganja, right? You were like, what? That's creative writing. That's creative writing, right? So that's how the songs were back in the day. Our parents could play it around the kids. We'd be in another room. They'd have the fish fry. Their friends would be over and they'd be playing all them songs, and they'd have the metaphors in there. And as kids, we'd be singing it. As we got older, we realized that, oh, whoa, that's what they were talking about? Damn, that's what they were talking about? So there's nothing wrong with being creative and writing like that. But I was bothered that there was a little period, a good 20-year period in R&B. And those of you that know what I'm talking about understand. There was like almost a 15 to 20-year period in R&B where it was just nothing but just derogatory stuff in R&B. Things, crazy stuff was being said on R&B records with the R&B hip hop, and it lost me. I didn't even listen to it. I was listening to all the old school R&B, and I knew as a artist, my job is to make sure that I write quality records for the younger generation that are coming up. Now I'm gonna show you something. This is how important R&B is, and you might not realize. When you see all of these K-pop artists, when you see all of these K-pop artists, what do you think they're doing? They just called it K-pop for Korean pop, but there's nothing pop about R&B music. They're not doing pop music. I hope you guys understand they're doing R&B music, and it's selling hundreds and millions of records. They're doing the music that we created, that the African American community created. Teddy Riley produced. They use black producers. Teddy Riley kicked off the whole K-pop movement. They use him to produce, to create that sound. And we all know that that's R&B. But how is it that that community could go and blow that music up that came from our community, and they're making billions of dollars off of it? And there's nothing wrong with it. But it started in our community. And the reason why that can happen is because African Americans do not support their own community. R&B is our music. Rock was our music. If we want to be technically correct, every style of music that was created came and migrated from the R&B community. Now I know there's some that'll be on here and they might say, well, everybody always talk about everything being black people created. Why is it always about a black thing? Because you know what? It is. R&B, rock, jazz, blues, it all came as a migration from us, all seeded from Africa, the rhythms brought to the US. And then we created that through suppression. Blues was created through suppression. R&B came from blues. Jazz came from the both. Rock was just a variable that just came from earlier black musicians who was just creating stuff and didn't realize it was rock. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we'll create music. We're the only ones that create a style of music, and then we'll throw away what we create and create something new. I have to say R&B has to be the longest um going creation in African American community besides jazz, besides blues, excuse me, and jazz, because once again R&B was a migration from blues, right? But I think for us to get back to the basics of R&B, because there's still black folks, we still love our R&B. It ain't going nowhere. We just are not supporting it like we used to. And I don't know. I think it might be based on maybe black folks is feeling like that music didn't compare to the old school music and how the old school music made them feel. And when the younger generation came in talking crazy on R&B records, OGs backed up like this. Like they kind of picked and choose. They like Chris Brown, some of the stuff Chris was doing, definitely Usher. But for all the newer artists that was doing stuff, a lot of African Americans backed up off of it, and they went dealing with the adult contemporary artists. They were like, I'll stick with adult contemporary because that's playing it safe, because I ain't got to worry about nothing crazy being said when I'm in a chill moment with my woman, my wife, or my friend, or whoever, or with the family. I don't have to worry about playing it for the kids and something crazy come up at the barbecue. So a lot of African Americans stepped away from the music we created with the support. And I don't think it's because they wanted to. I really think it's because it just wasn't nothing tangible there for them to grab a hold of. That's why neo soul blew up so big, because of what they were talking about. That became a cultural movement with the African pride. And neo soul was kind of like that connection to that black pride and the power and love, and the connection within the community. The neo soul music seemed to bridge that. It was almost like a 70s movement with neo soul when it came in, and it kind of fizzled out. It's still there. They don't use the word neo soul no more. So you got neo soul artists saying R&B because they felt like that was more of a niche market. But the African American community supported it. I'll tell you something crazy. If it were not, and this is the truth, a lot of the old school artists like Lakeside, Yarbrough and Peoples, um, Steve Arrington, um, a Stone City Band. I could keep going. If it wasn't for the Mexican community, black artists would be broke. So I'm going to show you how there's a separation of things going on. Because, like, if there's a funk show, you don't have a lot of black people going to buy tickets for the funk shows. But now, if there's a 90s R&B or 80s R&B, black folks show up. The funk shows, the Mexicans are packing it out. How do I know? I've been out on the tours. When I was with the Stone City Band, I've been on the tours. I created a tour that I was the person that was over the tour and putting it together. Right? So I know, I witnessed it, I watched, I looked at the audience and saw all the people. But most of them, I could show you a video. 90%, and I'm gonna have to could definitely connect my StreamYard. So when I'm talking, I can actually pull up the footage. I can show you the actual footage backstage, and I can show you the footage of us walking down through the audience to get to the backstage. It was like 10,000 people, all Hispanic. I honestly, I didn't see one black person in that audience, and I'm not even making this up. I have the video to show you. It was 99.9% Mexican folks supporting the movement. So if it were not for the Hispanic community, old school artists wouldn't even be able to make a living. Those are the ones that are supporting freestyle music. They're supporting the funk music, hands down. Hands down. The most black people I saw on the OMG, it was called the OMG Funk Festival tour that I put together. The Lakeside, Yarbrough and Peoples, Stone City Band, um, um, forgot that group. I can't remember the name. They had the song Car Wash. I can't even remember. I can't believe I went blank. Anyway, I had an A-list of old school artists, and it was sold out. The Hispanic community comes out and support. So a lot of our old school artists, if it wasn't for the Hispanic community, they wouldn't be able to make a living. It's the truth, because the black community is not fully supporting the funk festivals like they are supporting the regular R&B stuff, right? Like they're supporting R&B stuff, but when it comes to the funk festivals, not a lot of black people be showing up like that. And I'm not making this up. I'm just giving you the logistics of it. So, and then you get artists who complain about people are stealing R&B, taking our music. That's a whole nother argument, right? And I do understand why African Americans feel that way and they want to say that. But if you think about it, if you're not supporting your community and supporting the music that's supposed to be the music that we create, then how can you complain about somebody of another race coming in, taking the music and I'm not gonna say making it theirs, but using the music to create something new because it comes from us supporting. It's just like if I drop an album now and Meech dropped an album, how many people are gonna go and buy that album? Now, fortunately, I get a lot of people that support me and actually stream my records and buy my albums, but do I have to beg for that? If I'm an African American and you see that I'm dropping an album and that's what I do, right? When I said my album drops on that date, people should be right at it, getting it. Our community should be on it, supporting each other like it used to be. So when I say, when I have these videos that I do about is R&B back or has R&B disappeared? As I've spoken on this subject before, is R&B done? Is R&B over with? You know, is R&B back? Well, it never went anywhere. It just kinda went underground again, like it used to be back in the maybe '50s, you know what I'm saying? It went back underground, and we had never seen a time like that where R&B was not on radio as much as it was, and who would have ever imagined that hip hop would have taken over radio like it did? Nobody saw that coming. All I know is that R&B is back, and some of these young folks are doing a hell of a job, really, with their rendition of what R&B is. So when I say is R&B a non-factor to music now, does it still have the same effect? It's just me saying, do you guys still care about R&B? I mean, how many people in the comments put a thumbs up if R&B still matters to you? If R&B is still something that you love on the daily, that you clean up with, that you, when you're on the road, you're touring, you're on the road visiting family, excuse me, and you're playing your music. What's in your playlist? Is it R&B? What is it? Is it something that you still support? Is it something that you will continue to support? Hands down with us, without us artists having to beg for you to support it. When you see artists have great albums, I understand it has to be a great album or a great single for you to support, but are you truly in the trenches and you're supporting the music that has kept our community up? Put a thumbs up. If you're in support of R&B music and you are wanting to see that movement continue, especially from the people in our community, especially from our Black artists, there's no way that our artists should put out an album they only sell, they're not even selling not even 200,000 records. They're not even selling 50,000 records anymore. But you'll have an artist that's not from our culture put out an album and they're selling 100 million records doing the same music that we created. As they say, make that make sense. The originators of the music can't seem to get a break. But when somebody outside of our culture does the music, and it's not even Black people buying their music. It's the little young girls from their community. It's the Caucasian community. It's BTS. It's a prime example. These young men sold out concerts. They're doing R&B music. They've come to America and have dominated the US. They dominated their country and every other country and came to the US, dominated the US with the same music that Black folks been doing all their lives, and Black folks can't seem to get a break because the African American community is not supporting. So what does it cost to download a record for $1.29? People go in the store and buy lighters that cost $2. People go in the store and buy a couple bags of chips, and they're more than $1.29. But as soon as the artist is saying, I need your support, Black folks scared to use credit cards online. No, I don't want my credit card, but I love R&B. But you don't want to support your community. It starts with you guys. Starts with everybody watching. Starts with everybody watching. How you going to say you support a community and you're not supporting the same community as your community? How do we build up our community if you're not supporting those artists that are making records to try to support the community so that we can put more jobs into the community, because we have more successful artists that are able to put money back into the community and give your nephew, your uncle, your cousin, or your husband a job or an opportunity? It really starts within our community. There is a separation with us. I feel bad when I see artists online begging for people to support them when it shouldn't be. As soon as if you're a black person and you see a black artist, and even if they're a rap artist and they whack, I'm just going to show you something. Even if they're a black artist and they're whack and they're trying to do something right within their community and they're out here and they're really busting their butts to do something right. Does it cost that much to spend $1.29? That's all it costs for a download. You download it, now you got the record, you can play it when you want. And if you don't want to play it, at least you supported your community. That's called giving back. We give to the homeless every day. And sometimes we give the homeless more than we give our community. We'll get a homeless $5. That's what we love helping people, right? But why are we helping people that's not helping themselves? So if you see a young man, a young woman out here working hard in the music and they're helping themselves, don't be afraid to download their album. It's only $1.29. Go get one of them fake credit cards, put a little money on it, and go download their record on iTunes. Or go to Spotify, become a member of Spotify, and stream their album. It doesn't cost nothing to support. I'm telling you, like all the complaints we're getting, ain't enough great R&B. You got to give a person a reason. If they ain't got no money to get in the studio to make great R&B, how can they continue to give you that? So the young generation, they'll take what they have, whatever they got, a laptop and on their back porch trying to cut a record, and then you don't like it because they're only working with what they have. And they don't have nobody like Meech or myself or Alan or other people in the industry that can teach them how to properly write. So they just throw out whatever. This is why you still have to support them so that they can get in a better position to continue to write better records, to continue to give our community. Our legacy is attached to our music as African Americans. Our legacy. Share this live, y'all. Share this live. I know I'm hitting y'all at a crazy time, but share the live. Let's bring these numbers up more. And make sure you hit like too. Our legacy is connected to our music. If you listen, watch Mexican people. What I've learned with being around the Asian community, right? I got people in my family that's Asian, but what I learned about being around specific Asian communities is they have their traditional music, right? And they will not and will never trade that music for nothing. Even the younger ones still play their traditional music. And I watch it, I see it. They're playing and they at the parties and they all old school. They might throw in some hip hop stuff, but they typically playing all their old school music at the gatherings, especially at the certain traditional gatherings. They're not playing no hip hop. No, they're playing all of their traditional music. We also do the same thing. They also support their community 100%. We don't. We don't. R&B is not dead. It's just that the community hasn't been supporting it like it should. So it kind of got lost in transition, and other communities picked up R&B and started running with it. Now we're back at running our own play with R&B, but we still need the support of our community to keep this music relevant. And if you're not supporting it, then it's going to be hard to have a future with us keeping the legacy of the music that makes our community really vibe alive. Imagine 20 years down the road with none of us supporting our community. Where is it going to go? What are we going to do? What's the next trend of music that's taking us further away from our tradition of what R&B was? It takes all of us to keep the essence of that music alive. And once again, it comes from us supporting. When artists hit me, they'll say, "Stone, I got a new single out." They don't have to ask me to buy it. You know what I do? I'll go right to iTunes and download their record. I don't care if I don't like it. I don't care if it's something I won't listen to. That is another African American person trying to do something positive, staying off the streets, not out here trying to do nothing bad to make a dollar. I support them. It's hard enough that artists have the hardest time surviving as artists because there's not enough money that we can make in Spotify and stuff like that. And most artists don't own their masters. Most artists are not producing or writing their work. And most of them, either the track or the beat they got is coming from somebody else. So they're already having to split 50% of that with another person. And then if they're not writing it, they don't even own that. So imagine, put yourself in that position. We want better R&B. You support your community. You support the ones that are writing the great stuff. Yeah, that's what you do. You want to see this music stay within our community and it's vibrant. Support your community. Support those artists that are out there on the forefront doing what they have to do to keep bringing you great R&B, funk, soul music, jazz. Support them because that is what's going to have you get what you need to get. That is what's going to have us keep our community and our culture together. If I say to a lot of black people, you know, tell me some African rhythms, they couldn't tell me any of the African rhythms because they don't know anymore. It's been taken out of the community long time ago. This is an example of what I'm saying. So imagine if we don't support R&B music, imagine 20 years from now, it's, we probably won't even be talking about R&B. It'll be maybe it'll be all rap. It won't be R&B. That's all I'm saying. Like, and then we're constantly seeing our culture being pulled apart. So once they pull the music out of the black culture, what is there left? They've taken our art, they've taken our swag. Once they take the music, what is the African American community anymore without the music? I'm just saying. Think about it. What is the African American community without that? Hold on, you guys. B, I'm on live right now.
You on live?
On my YouTube live, yeah.
Oh, tell them I said what's up.
Say hello to everybody.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? This is Brian Wilson.
This is Brian Wilson, Charlie Wilson's nephew, the Gap Band. So
heir of the Gap Band legacy. What's going on, y'all?
heir of the Gap Band legacy. We're going to interview B too. We're going to do an interview on Brian and his brother. So B, I'm going to call you after I get off this live, okay?
Absolutely, man. Have a good one. I'm trying to play something for you, but I'll wait till you get off.
Okay, I'll hit you back.
Right.
Okay. So we're going to interview the Gap Band too. Charlie Wilson's nephews. They're taking the legacy and keeping it going. They're the heir of the whole Gap Band legacy. We're going to interview B-Dub and his brother. We'll bring them on and interview them too. But as I'm talking about R&B, he calls me because him and I go back and forth all day long with tracks. He'll call me and play me some stuff. So this is what I'm saying, you guys. As we continue in the days of our lives in the black community, African American community, the only way for us to keep the legacy of our culture alive, it starts with us keeping the music relevant. We got to keep our music relevant. We got to support the artists in our community that are the flagship of the community with music. And we don't do that. It's just too easy for our legacy to slip out into the abyss. And then 30 years from now or 100 years from now, they're telling the story about how the black community used to be. And it used to be great music, and we don't know what happened. Because sometimes a community can do it to themselves. We can do that to ourselves, right? Because we so cool and fly. We was like, nah, we just gonna invent a new style of music. This is how black folks are. We think we'll just create something new and throw that away. When they take that from us, we'll go create something new and throw that away. But you're not building legacy. You're just you're kind of really destroying the legacy of what was already there. We're supposed to take what's there, keep building on it. The community is supposed to support us, keep building on it. The community is supposed to talk about it, keep building on it. The community is supposed to inject knowledge and wisdom in it and keep building on it, and then pass it to the younger generation, and they keep building on it. That's what we have forgotten. That's what's missing. You understand what I'm saying? So when I say is R&B a non-factor, I'm asking a serious question. Is R&B a non-factor? Is it a non-factor now? Do you guys care? Do you really care about it? Does it matter to you anymore? Does it matter to anybody anymore? I hear everybody in the comments saying yes. Tell me the last R&B album you went on iTunes and downloaded. Because you talk is cheap. We can talk all day long about we listen to it. Y'all going on listening for free. I'm just saying, what was the last album? This is how you know it matters. Put in the comments the last R&B album you actually went to iTunes and bought. Download it because that counts. That's a sell for an artist. That download is the money they actually get. I'm not talking about streaming it off of your cousin's phone. How many of you guys actually supported an R&B album and bought it within the last 3 months? And name it. I'm going to show you how 100% solid the information I'm sharing with you is. In the comments, I need to see how many people actually went and downloaded a full album on a black artist the last 6 months. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. And I'm going to read it. Oliveira, okay, you downloaded Bobby DeBarge, It's Not Over recently? Okay. Sweet Cutie said she bought Mahogany Soul. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for supporting artists. True 75 said unseasoned innovation is what it's called. Auntie Mickey said R&B is back in the day, brought together all generationals. R&B, she said, Auntie Mickey said R&B back in the day brought together all generations. Auntie Mickey, you're absolutely correct. Satan said, I purchased the album, not a CD, but a real album. Smokey Robinson's Gasms. Hi, Victory. Did I say that right? Gasms. Auntie Mickey said I had to replace some music in iTunes, older Earth, Wind, and Fire, and Black Diamond by it. Thank you, Auntie Mickey. See, this is what I'm saying. That's making a difference. Now, for all I'm going to show you guys something that I do. All the people that are members of my channel, I got a special gift for you. You're going to have to pay the shipping and handling, but I'm going to give you a free album of mine. I might even throw a free vinyl in, but I'm going to give you a free album of mine. It's in the key. It's one of my albums called, is it in the Key of Love? I'm going to ship you a free album because I still do physical. My physical going to stores in Japan, Australia, and Spain. I'm going to give all my members a free album. All you got to do is pay for the shipping. I'm shipping the album to you. You don't have to buy it from me. That's my gift to you for being in support of me. But we are going to continue to need to have that support in our community to keep R&B going for the future of it. When I'm no longer here, my hopes and dreams are that somebody will continue to. I don't have any kids. I have stepkids. So, maybe it's wishful thinking. I'm hoping that they will continue my legacy on with all my unreleased records. I'm hoping that somebody that I've helped will continue to push like I do for the culture. It's not about you even buying my music. As long as you're supporting the African American community and we can keep that element of what is ours alive. We can't argue about people taking something from us if we're not supporting our own community. That's really a voided argument. We should stop talking about, what somebody is taking from us if we're not supporting our own community. What's up, Victory? What's up, Leo the Lion? What's happening? Okay, Bisnessa said, Stone, I think marketing might be the problem. Bisnessa, it is and it isn't, because I've seen me knowing marketing and I do all that. I've seen great albums that were marketed that still didn't do well. Think about this. There's how many people watching me now? 30, 40, and the numbers goes up and down as we're watching. If I have 1,000 fans, you already know me. You already know me. The way the Black community used to work in the 50s and 60s was word of mouth. If you already knew that artist was coming to town, you supported him. That's what the Black community did. Marketing wasn't a thing back then. It was word of mouth, which is a form of marketing, but nobody had to go spend $1 million to try to get an artist in front of somebody. The auntie told you, the cousin told you, oh, BB King's coming. What? Yeah, he's coming to the corner, right to the corner tavern back in the day, right? Oh, shoot, we got to get our tickets. Black people supported. It didn't matter. It was another Black person performing. Everybody wanted to be there at the juke joint. You feel what I'm saying? That's the movement we have to create. Like, we can't wait for somebody to pop up in front of us. If you see somebody online and they doing music and they're black, our job is to support them. We don't have to know them. Our problem as black people, the first thing we go, I don't know them and how they sound. And I might not like it. Does it matter? You remember the days that our mama used to send us to a neighbor's house, or a neighbor would come to your house and ask for sugar? Y'all remember that? Do y'all remember those days? Do you remember that? You remember how simple life was to support? You remember when kids would get whoopings at home and the neighbor would whoop them and send them back down the street? That's the kind of stuff that's the kind of community thing that I'm talking about. We got to get back to that. It was a community thing. We supported no matter what, whether we knew the person or not. And we didn't use the word marketing either. Somebody says somebody has an album out. It's a new blues album out. Grandma had to get it. Grandma had to have that album. Grandma had it. She played it over and over again. Saturday, she played it. And Sunday, she played Mahalia Jackson. Am I lying? Am I lying? I'm just saying. This is what we have to get back to. You know, it's crazy because the more I think about it, the more I understand that really the reason why, and Stephanie Mills, you should hear Stephanie Mills talk about when it comes to black men. She's always on point. She doesn't like the fact that other people have come in our community and taken the music and ran with it. But I say the reason that that's happened because we're not supporting our own community. If I can't get you to buy a $1.29 download, you're not going to come to my concert. That's a fact. If Stone pulls up in your city and you haven't even bought a download of my record, I'm not going to be able to get you to come because you don't see the reason to come because you didn't even spend $1.29. Now you got to spend $20 or $30 on a ticket to see me perform live with my band. Do I honestly believe you're going to come? No, I don't, because you didn't even buy the $1.29 album, the single, I mean. Look how much money the African American community spends. Billions of dollars in hair care product, clothes, cars. We're one of the most powerful communities when it comes to the dollar, pound for pound. That's why they cater these commercials to us. The new car, the new Escalade. They're all catered to us because we spend that money. As soon as it lands in that hand, we gone. But when it comes to our community, I don't even want to come to your restaurant. I'm going to show y'all something. I used to own 3 cell phone stores, right? I never wanted people to know. Those were investments. I didn't want nobody to know here in Las Vegas. And anybody in Vegas will tell you, I owned 3 cell phone stores at one time. I didn't want anybody to know I was the owner because I noticed that every time people thought I was the owner, 2 things happened with African Americans. They either didn't support me or they would run games on me. Like they would buy something and try to bring it back and change it out of the box and say that, oh, I gave them something that wasn't working. That's the kind of game I got ran on me. So for the first year, my cell phone store, I lost a lot of money because I was selling new iPhones and people would literally buy them, come back, switch it out with another iPhone because it took me a minute to get hip to the game and have me confused, right? They would take like the insides out and then switch the whole thing up and then bring it back with the casing on it and look like the same phone. They said, yeah, this don't work, man. I'm going to need my $1,000 back. I was losing money. That was only happening to me from my own people. So I stopped telling people I was the owner. I started letting people think that the owner was an Asian person. As soon as I did that, a lot of my problems disappeared. They would come in and buy stuff. They wouldn't have a question. If they had a question, I would act like I'm just a person that was working in my own store, right? Very few problems when they didn't think it was an African American owning the store. But when they knew I owned the store, they ran hustles on me on a regular basis. And I'm just being honest with you, from my own people, right? All kinds of hustles, arguing with me, come in and buy a case. The case might be $15, right? I'm going to tell you some of the stuff used to happen, used to make me laugh. They would come in. How much is that case? I said, oh, that's 15. Oh man, you robbing people. This is our people. Go right up to Walmart and pay $20 for the same case. How did I know? Because I would know the prices because my prices were always cheaper. Run up to Walmart, ain't gonna argue with nobody, and would buy it. This is what has happened to our community. And that's why we got to get back to the real support for each other. We got to get back to the real support. You understand what I'm saying? So when you're able to have dialogue with each other out of honesty and love, those things don't happen. It's many guys would get out of prison, come into my store, and I would talk to them, and I knew they just got out of prison. They didn't have a phone. You know what I would do? I would give them a free phone and give them 1 month free activation right there on the spot. Many celebrities that were broke, that didn't have phone service, that would call me, I would tell them, come get a phone. I'm not going to mention those names. I say, go meet me at my store. Come get a phone. I got you covered. I gave back to my community, and I still do, because I love the community. And if we don't love our own community, then what difference does it make? What can we do? We can't go anywhere without us helping each other. We can't move anywhere without us really, truly supporting each other, because it's going to take us to support us. So when we say R&B, and then my whole subject today is R&B still a factor? Does it still matter? Does it still matter? Is it a non-factor? And does it still have the same effect? I just wanted to talk about that today. That's important to me, because Meech and I are going to be dropping records. Alan McNeil from Troop is dropping a new record. Christopher Williams, a friend of mine, is going to be dropping a new record. Other industry artists are going to be dropping new records. We're going to need the support. We're going to need the love from you guys, from the community that says you love us, by going out and grabbing this phone and saying, let me 129. It's not going to hurt your pockets. $1.29. Some of y'all spending that 20 times a day. Why not support your favorite artist? Why not support your community? It doesn't hurt. It starts with that. To make a difference in your community, you first got to support your community. That's one of the issues they have in Vegas. Vegas Black community don't really support each other. It's all the bougie Black folks in Vegas. They pretend like they do, but they don't. And I'm sure that's like that with a lot of other communities. Everybody in Vegas knows me. If you ask me how many times they play my record in Vegas, you'd be surprised when I tell you they don't. Have they played it before? Yes. My record gets played. I'm going to show y'all something. My record gets played all over the world, over and over again. I pull up my radio numbers every single day. I'm only giving y'all some game, right? I'm showing y'all how this game, how the Black community, how we do each other, and how we can change the narrative with support with each other, with R&B music and our businesses, if we truly support each other. Now, I've been in Vegas since the 90s. When I got here, I was a young dude. I get stations across. It's the weirdest thing in the world to see a station playing you like crazy when I pull up my numbers. People ask me one question. Hey, Stone, man, you've been in this business a long time, man. You work with everybody. How come I don't hear your record on the radio in Vegas? And I laugh. And I said, well, there's many variables to that. I can tell you the long story, or I can just give you the short story. Black folks don't really support Black people like they should. They have their own hidden agendas why they support who they want to support. They have their own hidden agendas as to who they will support and at what time. I've had this station here called 88.1. They'll support me through spurts. It'd be like little spurts and shit. But usually it takes another person to say to them, how come y'all ain't playing Stone, man? He right here, man. Stone don't work with everybody. How come y'all ain't playing Stone on the radio in Vegas? This way he live. Y'all would be surprised. Other people say that, and then all of a sudden, magically, my record gets played for a little bit, and then it just dissipates again. New single out. I got to go beg folks to play. I ain't begging nobody to play my shit. Not when I'm getting spins all over the world. I want artists to understand that are watching this. One station is not going to make you or break you. So don't worry about it. If one station is not playing, you know how many stations are out here? Millions of stations, hundreds and thousands of stations. And now with digital radio taking over, you ain't even got to trip off of physical radio, because digital radio is cutting checks the same way. They're paying the BMI and ASCAP to all the PROs, the publishing rights organizations that collect your money from radio play. So if you're not getting play in your city, don't worry about it. Artists, my old school artists and my young artists, don't stress over it. If they're not playing you in your city, don't even worry about it. Trust me, there's so many stations that will play you. So don't get caught up in that one station. So what I did was I stopped worrying about it through the years. And when I tell you, it's been some years, I stopped worrying about it. And when you stop worrying about stuff, it works out. Then I look up and somebody, oh, I heard your song on the radio today. Because I'm not gonna play the game of chasing you to play records. For all the DJs that know me in Las Vegas, for all the DJs that know me across the world. Love the ones that respect my music and that adore my music for it being great music. But for the ones that are not really supporting, fuck you. I said it. CC, why you do that, CC? Thank you, CC. Thank you for that. Look, my moderator. How many times you see a moderator send you something? Thank you for the $20, CC. How many times you see your moderator actually give you a donation to your channel? CC, that's awesome. That's beautiful. Thank you. Um, and that should happen all the time. She's holding me down as a moderator, and I appreciate her even doing that. That was straight love. So I'm saying this to you guys because I want you to understand that there's more than one way to skin a bird. And in the Black community, if we want to truly see R&B continue to stay alive, we must support it. That includes the DJs. That includes the other local musicians, not hating on each other. Like, I help everybody. I don't care. I sing. It could be somebody that sings better than me. I don't get caught up in that person's a better singer than me. I'm not going to help them. Never. That's not Stone. I don't do that. I actually help people. If you sing great, you sing great. I don't. It's like I'm not in competition with nobody but myself. So I support singers, rappers. I want to see everybody do well. But I also want you to understand the reason why R&B has not done as well as it should have. Auntie Mickey, thank you. Wow, that's so sweet. Thank you for the donation, Auntie Mickey. Desiree, thank you for becoming a member, you guys. Hand claps for Desiree. Desiree became a member of Stone Paxton Music and Life blog. Please give her a hand clap, you guys. Please give her a hand clap. I appreciate that. That is beautiful. Desiree, welcome to the family. Desiree Taborn, Auntie Mickey, thank you for the donation, sweetie. I want to inspire artists because I want you to understand that my history goes way back. I'm gonna share something with y'all. R&B is my thing. I put together tons of groups. I remember y'all look at the artist Neo, and this is a fact. When you look at the artist Neo, just know that the artist Neo started right here with me. I put together a group called Envy. I had the artist Neo in that group, and I had Corey Clark from American Idol. And Corey Clark was the one that slept with Paula Abdul. That scandal, right? Supposedly, right? Allegedly. I had them in a group called Envy with 3 other guys. And that was the beginning of Neo and Corey Clark's career. And then my buddy came along and stole the group from me from behind my back. He was older. He was a police officer. He made some threats to me. He stole my guys. I had a meeting set up. I had him take them to the meeting. And when he got back to town, it was his group. He took the group from me and he dared me to say anything about it because at that time he was a police officer. And I think I was 20, 19 or 20, or I was young, right? This was like 85. So no, I was probably my 24, 25. He took my group from me. So yes, Neo, when people ask, when I get interviewed, they say, I heard that, you started the artist Neo's career. Yes, it started with me. It started with a group called NB. I put the group together. This same group I had put together before with 5 other guys. So when I came to Vegas and I put the group together, it was Neo, it was Corey Clark, and 3 other guys. That was the beginning of Neo's career. That was the beginning of Corey Clark's career. So I've always given back to the music community. I've always given back to the Black music community by helping other artists get in this business. Always. My stories are long. I have a lot of artists that I've gotten record deals, a lot of artists that I am behind that you might not ever hear me talk about it. But when you see my documentary that's probably going to come out before the year is over, it's going to tell all those stories. You see other celebrities talking about me, and they're talking about all the stuff I've done and all the work I've done and how they like working with me. I don't make these stories up. These are all real stories because I care. I made a difference in the community because I cared. I made a difference, and I'm still making a difference in my community. I'm just making sure that people don't waste my time now, but I'm still making a difference in my community. So if we're going to make a difference in the R&B community with R&B music, and we want to keep the legacy of that music connected to our culture as Black people, the culture of the Black community, we must support it. When I drop an album and Meats drops an album, I expect for everybody to buy it. If you guys had a business and you say to me, Stone, I'm selling cookies. Stone, I'm selling t-shirts. You don't have to ask me to support you. I'm going to say, okay, send me what you got. Let's go. I got it. Just send me where I need to get it. You don't have to ask me. I'm going to support you because you are part of the community. You are part of keeping that community together through your resources that you offer, your knowledge, and your wisdom. I'm going to show you guys something. I am involved with this company, and it is about to go public. I'm going to make a call real quick while you guys are on, because I'm going to share this website with you. Okay. And this is huge. This is something big for the African American community that's going to change the game, right? I'm going to give you the website. Um, brother, brother, is brother Corey, is the site, I'm live on YouTube. The site is already up and active, right? Give me the name of the site again. Okay. I want, say that again.
MELATECH.black.
So Melatech.black, you guys. I want you to go to that site. And as I'm talking to you about giving back to the Black community, I want you to see what I'm involved with. Okay. I don't make up stories of grandeur to appease myself. I only say things that are actual and factual. So you're going to understand the level of what I'm saying. Go to that website. It's Melatech.black. This is a huge movement. This is going to change the African American community. Go, if somebody can type that site in, Melatech.black. MELATECH.black. Moderators, can you type that in? I want everybody to click that link. Look through the site, look at all the people involved, and you'll see the kind of things that I'm involved with when it comes to our community and me giving back. So you'll see I'm not just on here talking. Corey, I'm going to call you when I get off this live, okay? Okay. I want you guys to understand that I get asked to be a part of very, very extravagant and extraordinary things that are pivotal things that are like community things that will change the community. This Melatech is incredible. It's like the yellow pages of the Black community. And we're about to do 3 different major presentations across the country, and I'm involved with this company. They asked me to be a part of it. So click that link, and I want you to check it out, right? Hold on, let me look at, somebody said something. Let's see what people doing on this live real quick. Hold on. Jesse, oh, okay. Listen. So I just want you to go to this site because I want you to understand the level of what I put back into my community. And this is going to be huge. This is helping the African American community, the Hispanic community, whoever needs help. But this site is predominantly built for the African American community. And we're going to have a base office out of Africa as well, Nigeria. And I'm a part of this company, a part of this new movement. And when I tell you it's huge, it's huge. For all those that have looked at it, if you haven't, Melatech.black. Make sure you go to that site and check it out. And trust me, you understand where I'm coming from, and you understand my passion about the African American community and why we need to continue to support each other. I'm over the entertainment part of this company. I'm the one that cover the concerts and anything entertainment related. I am the one that help cover that, talk about it, media stuff with that, and any of the big events that we're going to be doing. I'm the one that's over the entertainment. So make sure you save that in your tabs on your computer. Melitech, share it with your family and friends. It's going to be something that is not even going to be something. It's something that's already set up. It's about to go completely public. This is going to be huge. The company is already valued at just a crazy, crazy number, but it's going to change the community. Melitech.black. Make sure you add it and you follow it. Listen, I've held you guys long enough. I appreciate the ones that logged on. I know this is not my normal time that I come on. I get it. I'm not going to always give you an exact time that I'm going to come on. I just say pay attention. Make sure your bell notification is set. I might come on later. I'm not 100% sure. I love all you guys, everybody that supported me, our new member that joined. Thank you so much. Let me go back up so I can look at, say the name. I want to make sure I'm respectful in the name. And thank you to Cece and Auntie Mickey for the donation. Thank you, Auntie Mickey, for stopping in. I appreciate you for that. You're awesome. Once again, let's welcome the member, Desiree Taborn. Thank you for becoming a member, Desiree. We appreciate you. We love you over here. Mpxone, Paxton, all of the people that come into my life, we love you. And we're going to keep growing this love with our community across the country. Meech and I and a few other artists do plan to put together this small tour. And, we're probably going to do, it's going to be a real intimate live tour. We might hit 2 or 3 cities, maybe 4 cities. Maybe it's going to be real intimate. We're going to do small venues. That's something I'll announce as we continue to grow the energy with folks on here. And we drop in these new singles. We're going to come and bring it to you. For the members, once again, anybody that's a member, if you want to get your free CD, I don't have it right here in front of me. I don't want to get up and leave just to go get it and show it to you. But it's called In the Key of Love, my physical CD. I'm giving that away free to my members. If you want it, email me in my inbox, stonepaxton@gmail.com, and say free CD, and then you'll just have to pay for the shipping and handling, but I'll ship it to you for free. It's not going to cost you anything. That's for my members, okay? Members only. So, and you're going to love the album. It's incredible. You get the physical album signed by me. So that's for my members only. So if you're interested, email me, stonepaxton@gmail.com for the members. If you want that CD, and I will make sure that I get it out to you. I'll respond to you and we'll get it out to you. Peace and love. I might be on later. I'm not 100% sure. Meech and I, depends on what's going on with Meech, what's going on with me. We'll see. I love you guys, man. Blessings. All right. And I'll catch you on the next video. I'm out. The ending part is always weird when you try to end this live because you look for it and it's like, there it is. Peace.